Hi, this is Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic. Thanks for joining me. Today I've got another 12 by 12 layout for you. I'm using the May Scrapping Fun kits that I was sent, predominantly using the paper sheets as you can see here. And what I've done, I've gone on my Big Shot and I've just cut these into lots of different sized love hearts because that's the theme I want to have for my layout. So I just putting those together, and I've got this old 12 by 12 sheet. I can't even remember where it's from actually, but I am trying to get rid of a lot of the old 12 by 12 sheets that I have. I just find the storage, they take up too much storage and they just sit there because they're so heavy and bulky. I can never really be bothered flicking through them, so making a conscious effort this year to start working through them. And you can see here I'm just playing around with them really, these little love hearts, and trying to get a good mix. I'm trying to get a diagonal line from top left to bottom right into that nice little image of those flowers. Now I do have this little tub of cardboard cutouts, and I just use these to glue to the back of some of these little love hearts just to give it a bit of dimension and to raise some of them up so they're a little bit higher with different levels. So some of them are different, I know you can't tell on the camera, but some of them are different thicknesses, and so some are a little bit higher and lower than the others. And I did that just by squishing a few of them in my die cut machine just to flatten them. But it works out a little bit cheaper than using foam squares or foam dots, and obviously I'm trying to be a bit more eco-friendly this year, so keeping all my packaging and just cutting it up to use here is a good way of doing that. I probably spend more time doing this part of the layout than any other actually. I do struggle to find the right placement for some of these, and you can see as well here I'm mixing between a tape runner and my Bostik glue pen. Now I love this Bostik glue pen. I'd need to find another one. It was in the school supplies section I think at Officeworks, but I love the fact that it's so fluid. It is running out of glue now, which is why I do struggle to keep using it, and then now I'm going back to the tape runner. But it dries clear, it's really flexible even when you've left it down for a while. It does take quite a long time to dry, and that's what I like about it. If you change your mind, you can go back and take it off. It doesn't rip the paper. So I really like using that product for things like this when I'm not too sure if I'm putting the placement where I want them to be. Now I've got a lot of these old Kaiser sheets which I'm also trying to use up as well, and I did notice when I was flicking through this particular sheet, I think it was a layout I did last week or the week before, that I saw these little words stickers, so I thought these would be perfect for this layout spread. The one thing I find with Kaiser, as much as I love the designs they do, I don't think they hold too well. So you see me quite a few times on this layout going backwards and forwards, actually using the glue pen to stick them down because they do tend to lose their stickiness off the sticker sheets. Now one of my new favourite little tiny phrase stickers that I've started to use are these Tim Holtz ones. These were a 4-pack that I got from Spotlight, but then I did end up actually ordering one of the little books as well from Scrapbook.com. And I've seen My Little Journal, I don't know if you've seen her YouTube channel, but she uses these a lot, and that's where I got the idea from to purchase these. And they are actually amazing. You get so many little phrase stickers on them. And when you first look at them, you actually think you don't know when you'll use them, but when you're actually in the middle of a layout and you're stuck for a sentiment or two, there's always something that matches really well. So I really love these little stickers, and they look a little bit lost on this 12 by 12 sheet. I probably should have put a couple against each of those words, but that's fine. I'm happy with how it turned out. And then you can see here I'm using glossy accents just to cover some of these lovettes as well, again just to get a bit more texture into this. It's not something I use very often, it does take a while to do because of the size of them, but I do find it quite therapeutic. I do love using them, and then the finish effect that it gives. So my next part of the process is just to add these sequins. So you'll see this is where I've actually brought in the Scrapping Fun Kits kit in my little tub. You can see what was included in the kit for May. And these little red sequins, and there was some little orange ones as well, I thought would be great just to sprinkle around this layout as well. So I'm just putting some in the top corners of the love hearts on the left hand side of the layout, and then I do some on the right hand side of the layout as well, further down towards the bottom. And if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I love using sequins. It really is one of my go-tos in my layouts, so I was really pleased that there was some in the kit this month, and so it was an easy way of finishing off this layout and embellishing it. So I've got my little Marvel jewel picker. I think it's going a little bit dull actually. I need to wash it again just to get some of that stickiness back because it wasn't quite as good as it usually is. And I'm using this Zig two-way glue pen just to put those down. It goes on like a shade of blue, but it dries clear, which is great, so you can see where you need to glue and stick down those little sequins. So this is one of my go-tos for sure as well. And you can see I'm also using it just to stick down a little bit more of those word stickers which keep popping up. Now, I know I want to use some of these red and orange flowers which came in the kit. They did have quite long stems on them, so they are quite versatile, but I've just cut off the wire stems just to make them easier to glue down. And I'm just playing around with these now to try and decide what to do in this top right hand corner. I'm not really liking the way they're bunching up together. I do like the ones in the bottom right hand corner, so I do end up keeping those. But the ones in the top corner I end up leaving and using this really big textured die cut. It's beautiful actually. It's got lots of different layers in it. It's very fabricy. I'm not really sure how best to describe it, but I think that goes well with all of the love that's on the page. And just to try and bring some more of that red in as well, that's why I've gone for some red flowers you'll see in the bottom of the layout as well. And that's my layout finished. I really enjoyed having a lot more space to play with on the 12 by 12, so I'm sure I'm going to do a few more of those in the future. And I had these photographs of my children and our little dog that I wanted to use as a focus point, and I think the love hearts and the words really bring it all together. So thank you for watching.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments about this video, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. That way YouTube knows to recommend similar ones for you. And finally, if you'd like to see more from me, and I hope so, please subscribe by clicking the link below. I post new content every weekend.